Hey guys, it's Running Out 1001, and I am here for a review of Turner and Hooch Season 1. So I'll start out with saying that I really enjoyed the show. I really loved the characters, and there's some real fun stuff in it. But it's definitely not perfect. So this show consists of three main storylines. It's Scott's police missions, the little love triangle with Scott, Erica, and Brooke, and Laura and Scott investigating their father's case that he was investigating before. Oh yeah, by the way, there's gonna be spoilers in this review. So yeah, before he died. So I'm gonna talk about each one separately. Um, so I'll start with Scott's police missions. These were pretty fun. Some of them were fun. Some of them weren't as great. Um, I really like that they were able to connect the missions with the other storylines sometimes. Uh, which is really good. But I do wish that they had less focus on Scott's missions, because the other two storylines, if I'm being honest, they interested me more. They piqued my interest more because they continued on each other. Scott's missions were just separate missions each episode, which were some fun. It was some fun stuff, but I wish they focused on it less and they focused more on the other storylines. So now we've got the storyline that, in my opinion, is probably done the best, which is the love triangle that they had with Scott, Brooke, and Erica. And I'm gonna start off with saying that Brooke and Erica are really great characters. They're really well done characters because they really had a contrast between the two. There was Erica, who's this dog person. She loves dogs, like Scott, which is kind of a sign. Oh, Erica and Scott probably better for each other. And she loves dogs, and she cares more about other people. But then there's Brooke. She's not as much of a dog person, and she's not over. She doesn't act overly selfish, but it seems like she cares more about herself and her career. So there's a clear contrast there, and we and that kind of gives us the signs that, okay, Erica is the better person for Scott. But there are some flaws with this. Like, for example, Scott doesn't seem to be picking up on any of Erica's, like, flirting or whatever, which is pretty obvious. Like, it's pretty obvious. Like, what? Is he just electing to ignore it? Which, for a little while, I felt like he was, but I don't know. I think it would have been better if he would have noticed it and been, like, kind of uncomfortable around Erica, I guess, because of this, because, he wants to be with Brooke, and for quite a while in the show, he was with Brooke. So, it's not perfect in how it ended. I am not a big fan of. Like, they really abruptly ended it. I didn't need, like, a kiss scene or whatever, but, like, they should at least have a conversation in the last episode talking about their feelings for each other. Like, at least that. But no, they just really abruptly ended it, which I wasn't a big fan of. But overall, this is a pretty good storyline. It's pretty well done. And then we have the storyline with Scott and Laura's father's case that they're investigating. Now, this storyline had so much potential, and they didn't go through with it, unfortunately. For about the first half of the show, I was really intrigued in the storyline. I was very invested. And when we got around the half point mark, that's pretty much where it peaked. It was, at that point, I was excited to see, ooh, what's this big case? What's going on? Like, they're alluding to it being this really big thing. But then, in the end, it turns out to be, like, some sort of dog fights or whatever. Like, they're talking about major criminals being involved in dog fights. Like, I know that it does make sense with the sort of theme of the show, which is about dogs. But I mean, they were building up to a lot more, and I was expecting a lot more. Something way bigger than dogfights. But that's what we got in the end. We got dogfights, and the villain, Walton, he's not great. He's just another one of those guys who's greedy and wants money. He's just one of those generic villains. So, this one, it had so much potential, but it was so wasted. And these Disney Plus shows, they often suffer from that problem. For example, in High School Musical, the musical, the series, season 2, I was expecting the North High and East High rivalry to kind of ramp up a bit, but not. It didn't really happen in the end, which was disappointing. Like around the middle, I was like super excited about this rivalry they had, but it didn't really go anywhere. And in the Bad Batch, they had this storyline with bounty hunters trying to get Omega. They literally just abruptly ended it in the middle of the season. So I don't know why Disney keeps doing this with their shows, but it would be nice if they stopped. But it still happens sometimes. Um, I will say that I like Turner and Hooch more than those two other shows, and I'll get into that more when I put this in my ranking of Disney Plus original shows. But overall, even though the show is not perfect, there are flaws. I wish they did more with it. I really enjoyed it. I really loved the characters. There were fun missions. There was fun dynamic between the characters. So it's a really great cop show, and I recommend you check it out just for a bit of fun. Well, you've probably already watched it if you're watching this spoiler review. So yeah, overall, I give the show an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Not perfect, but it was a lot of fun. So now I'm going to rank Turner and Hooch on my list of Disney Plus original shows. And I'm going to put this at number 5, right above The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which might be a bit of a surprise. But I think I like the characters in this show more, and I just had a lot of fun with it. More fun than The Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is why it's above it. But it is below Mighty Ducks Game Changers because they're similar shows in that I really like the characters. They're a ton of fun, but Mighty Ducks Game Changers didn't feel like it had that wasted potential. It felt like the writers did well with it, you know. And with Turner and Hooch, it just felt like okay, you could have done a lot better. With Mighty Ducks Game Changers, they're like, okay, you did a really good job on this. So yeah, I still think that the Turner and Hooch writers did quite a good job, but they could have done a lot better, in my opinion. So yeah, that's it for this review. Comment in the comment section down below. What would you rate Turner and Hooch as a whole? What would you rate the show as a whole? So yeah, that's it for this video, and thanks for watching.